On reflection, I could have died to much worse things. What if it was a dragling? That would have been really embarrassing. Yeah, at least I got torched by a giant dragon. That's a pretty cool way to die. Anyways, without any further ado... Oh yeah, I didn't show off the breast hold. I'll save that for another time. Don't worry about it, it's kind of useless. Really, it just lets you have a zoomed in look on things, but what we want for this fight, primarily, are the fire bombs and turpentine. Turpentine. However you pronounce it. I don't know. So this is the Phalanx. This is the first major boss, and he just got a few good shots off of me. And there's one right behind me. Dear God. And yes, the game is chugging a little bit. As well as the game runs most of the time, it will have some moments where it will start getting a little bit slow. Anyways, I mentioned before this guy is very weak to fire, and fire is the best way to fight this guy. It will take out a lot of its lackeys, as you notice. It's a lot of these shield creatures from before. We saw a few of them. I can't remember the name of these. I'll have to brush up on my Demon Souls knowledge, because really I haven't read up on the game in a long time. And even when I played this game a lot, like a month or two ago, I didn't know these things' names. It was just some weird name. I can't remember it. It's not even on the tip of my tongue. I just plain old can't think of what it was, but yeah. Regardless, let's just keep throwing fire bombs at it. In this case, I think we can take out this soul guy just by himself. I always just thought that these were a bunch of black tar monsters, and then these little ones were like mini phalanxes or something, I don't know. But the main thing, it's pretty much just that big flash of light with the big black tar base that it sort of just slides across the ground with. You'll see it once we get rid of all of its little friends. Shouldn't take too much longer. And as you can see, using the fire bottles really helps a lot for taking out all these guys. Not to mention it does a crapload of damage to the boss himself. If you kill the boss before you kill all these little guys, any remaining enemies just sort of die automatically. But I tend to like to kill all of its little friends first, and then kill it, because it literally cannot defend itself. It has no attacks. Once you take out its lackeys, all it can do is sit there and watch you hack away at it. Which can be pretty fun, because it kind of backs away from you. Once it knows that, you know, you've pretty much won the fight, it just cowers away in a corner, from which point you can just sort of hack the crap out of it until it dies. So I guess we'll do that, considering it's sort of a tradition of mine. Or maybe I'll take out most of them, and then whatever's left. Oh god, I'm getting low on health. I'll bet he was hoping I didn't notice that. There we go. Some late moon grass. Late moon grass is very useful for just eat one, heal your full health bar. We didn't do that. It would have taken us a little bit longer. Just if we can avoid delaying ourselves as much as possible, that's the best idea right now. Anyways, what else is there to say about this boss? It's pretty much just a collection of smaller enemies joined together. You gotta fight a whole army of these dudes. And it is a pain in the butt if you don't have flame-based weaponry, because of just their shields. You have to hit them from behind, otherwise you won't do significant damage. And if a lot of them hit you at once with their spears, then it can do... the damage really racks up very quickly. Anyways, now that we've killed all of them, this thing has no defenses left. All it can do is slide to the corner. It's kind of a pitiful thing. So, let's finish it off. There we go. Demon was destroyed. You shall obtain the demon soul, and the power that is beyond human imagination. And we also revived, so we got our body form back. We do a little bit less damage, but we also have a full health bar, so you know, give a little, take a little. Good stuff. And also with all these guys that we took out, we get plenty of sharpstone and possibly hardstone to upgrade our weapons afterwards. So overall, good stuff. Pretty solid first boss. There were maybe one or two close calls, but took care of it pretty well. Anyways, I mentioned before about a really silly looking recovery from a certain attack you can do, and I finally figured out how to do it. If you press the strong and then press it again, you do that jumping attack. But the best part is right there, right after you do the jumping attack. You kind of do this little dance to get back into position, and I really love that, the way that he does that. It's just swing, schwung, and then woo! And so I hope you enjoyed my interpretation of that. Sound effects and all. Anyways, let's return to the Nexus. It's not a bad boss fight. Just 5 minutes and he's done. And I was playing it patiently. If you want to, like, speed run that guy, you really can. You just have to take out just enough to really get in on him instead of attacking his lackeys.
Welcome back. The Monumental awaits the above. The Monumental will explain the Nexus to thee.
Alright, so Maiden in Black here. She's actually how we'll be leveling up throughout the game. I don't think I can show it off just yet, because we have to talk to the Monumental before we can really continue with anything, but let's talk to this snarky guy right here, see what he has to say.
Still alive? I am impressed. This is something that might interest us. The Black-robed Maiden of the Nexus looks after the flames. She's a morose type, with eyes occluded by wax. She can control souls like no other. Bring her the souls of men and demons, and she will embolden your flesh and blood with their power. But beware. Do not devolve into a foul beast.
So yeah. Maiden in Black, eyes occluded by wax. I don't quite know the reason behind why her eyes are covered with wax, but she's an interesting character. As they said, she keeps the torches in the Nexus alight with that big candle of hers. And overall, she's sort of an interesting character. Anyways, they mentioned about the Monumental. We're going to go up to see him now. I think it's a he. It's sort of like a very young-looking person. It's a childy voice. The sound, the voice actor sounds female, though. I could be wrong. I don't know. Either way, Monumental. I think people mentioned that they're sort of almost like statues, just sort of with the ability to speak and stuff. They're sentient beings, but at the same time they're also statues. This is the one that we're supposed to talk to. This is sort of a depressing sight. All of the other ones are actually dead in one way or another. I don't know how dead a statue can be, but yeah. Anyways. Down here we have a little item we can get, the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. And, even more of these guys. Yep. Let's take it all in. But, what we want to do up here, anyways, back to the point, is we want to go back to that living one. We want to inquire about the demons and Boletaria and just the history of what's behind all this stuff. So let's go talk to him.
We have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons. I am one of the Monumentals. We preserve the fabric of reality. There is something thou needest to know. Once, we too, a scourge of demons faced. In the distant past, under a benevolent rule, the world was united owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to his slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and half the world lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what land still remained, we entrusted 6 elders with 6 precious archstones. 1 to the king of a small yet diligent land. 1 to the king of the burrowers underground. 1 to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. 1 to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. 1 to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed at nodes across the earth. We contained the Old One inside this nexus and banned the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain. Now it is your turn. You must lull the Old One back to its slumber, and seal it away for all eternity. If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the strength to accept this mission?
Well, to be fair, we don't have much choice, so...
Yes, we are fortunate indeed to have you. Now, go forth and destroy every last demon. The Old One, without demons to feed its souls, will a new servant seek and lure you to its bosom.
Its Christmas tree-filled bosom. So yeah, that cutscene back there showed us what I believe was an outside view of the Nexus. It looks like a sort of a big floating tower. Sort of interesting. You don't really get to see the exterior of the Nexus much. But yeah. So if we continue up here even further, this part of the Nexus is, it's kind of interesting. It's much more focused on the multiplayer aspect of the game. It's the Pantheon, and what the Pantheon is it's sort of a thing that tracks a bunch of different things. Uniter of the World, local, so people who've recently beat the game, most phantom saves, so most people who have had successful trips with multiplayer and saved people. You can see these guys have ridiculous amounts of souls. I don't know if they exploited certain things in the game in order to get that far, or if they just played for that long. This guy played for 352 hours, so it's quite a lot. I think I've played for, I don't know, not even 100 hours yet, but on my main file I've played, you know, a little bit less than this guy. This guy definitely used exploits to get that many souls, you can see, since he has them completely maxed out. But yeah, you can also see that he's dual-wielding the Dragon Bone Smashers, which are near the heaviest weapons in the game that you can wield, and dual wielding them is just sort of adding insult to injury by saying, hey, see this giant-ass sword? I wield 2 of them. Yeah. I actually have a friend who wields that, and he casts Firestorm like nobody's business. Oh god, memories. Still though, my main character, for some reason, was very resistant to firestorms. It only took off like 1/3 of his health, so any Black Phantoms who tried doing that on me usually got their butt kicked. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but... Alright, I don't think there's anything past this way. The only reason I came up here really was for that Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. What those do is that if you're in soul form and you need a quick way to get back to body form, although I don't see why you would, you can use one of those and they instantly give you your body form back. It can be used in some cases if you want to change your character, or not your character tendency, your world tendency to black, but otherwise really not much use for that. Anyways, running on down here. So we've already seen the Monumental. We don't really have to come back up there at any time soon. Honestly, we almost never come up here. But yeah, it's about as high as we can go. This nice big statue. Pretty crazy. And then we also have 2 perilous platforming bits here that we can use to get some extra stuff. I'm only going to go down 1 right now because there's only so much insanity I can take with this game, and this is sort of the peak of insanity, trying to do this. So this one, I believe, is the easier of the 2, or at least the less risky. See, we can get down on this platform, take a Reno and Soldier's Soul, and just drop right on down. The other one does yield a better reward, but it's a little bit tougher to get down there without dying, so I'm not going to try that one quite yet. Anyways, moving along, we have some new people in the Nexus. Sorry, we've spent pretty much the entire episode in here. There are just some new things I would like to show off before we continue on. So this guy is a mage.
What do you want, brute? I have no use for miscreants like yourself. Away with you.
And he pretty much just tosses us away like nothing. The reason for that is because if you take a look at our stats, we don't have quite enough magic for him to notice anything about us worth seeing. I think if we upgrade it to 10, our magic to 10, then he'll actually take the time to let us learn magic spells, that kind of thing, but until that point, he's not going to let us learn anything. And so basically, the mages and the sort of faithful, god-devoted sages, or not sages, but saints, those kinds of guys, they have 2 split parts of the Nexus. This is the mage area where, you know, the witches and the sages will gather, and really there's only like 3 or 4 characters that go there. And then along this way, you have, you know, the god-worshipping guys who practice miracles. So spells and miracles, I think I explained earlier. Basically, miracles are what the religious people use, and spells are what the mage people use, and they don't like each other.
I have sinned. I swore allegiance to Saint Urbain, but was of no use to him. And now I have run away and abandoned his honorableness.
Saint Urbain is sort of like the leader of these guys, at least in the context of this game. He's the strongest faith man around, and he teaches us all of the higher tier miracles.
A warrior from afar, are you? May you enjoy victory in battle. Umbasa.
This guy is the guy who would teach you miracles, whereas that other guy is the one who would teach you spells until you rescue Saint Urbain and Sage Frake. Those are the 2 high-tier spell users and miracle users, so...
Oh my. How has this happened? Has God abandoned us for failing to show proper respect to King Alant? Oh, Mbasa.
And boss is kind of this phrase that these guys use, just kind of fill in their sentences, you know. I guess it's like, oh my god, something like that. So, I guess that's more or less how you take it.
Oh, good day to you. I can forge weapons for you, at a fair price.
Alright, so what I suggest you do after each level is you repair all your items, because if your weapons break or if your armor breaks, they become useless. They become dead weight, pretty much. Yeah, especially with your weapons, you'll do like 2 damage, so really it's just best idea is to keep everything repaired between levels. Every single time you go out on excursion, make sure you repair your items on your way back. So
Be thankful that I'm
alright, I don't think he has anything good to
no
say.
interest, eh? I can tell you're not gonna last long here.
Shut up. Alright, let's put our items away and then we'll stop this video off.
That hairpin, that belongs to my daughter.
Alright.
Then she didn't make it after all. My dearest little baby. May she rest in peace. May I ask you a favor? Would you mind giving up that hairpin? I'd like to have it in memory of my daughter.
So that jade hairpin we got was actually his daughter's hairpin, so completing his little backstory, we give it back to him, and
You're a saint.
it's just a nice thing to
Thank
do.
you. Thank you so much. Oh, I mustn't forget. It's not much, but please accept this as thanks. I'm a bit ashamed to say, but I found it one day, discarded on the main road. But it seems to possess a strange power. Anyway, I feel that you should have it. It will be happier in your hands.
And for our good deeds, we get the Ring of Herculean Strength. Let me just check what this does, because there's another ring just like this, but alright, this one, it raises our maximum item burden. What that means is that we can carry about maybe 50 pounds more than we could without the ring. There's also the Ring of Great Strength, which just, it allows us to carry more stuff on us at one time. Like, you have your item burden and then your equip burden. You can see right in the middle there, equip burden, item burden. If you have your equip burden above 50% of what it is, so we have 40, if we were holding more than 20 pounds worth of weight just on us, say in armor or in weapons, then we would have a slow roll, and if we went above 40, then we wouldn't even be able to run. We just sort of slosh around really slowly because we were carrying so much stuff. That's only if you're carrying really heavy stuff. And then your item burn is just what you can carry in general, just in your inventory. It's a bit of a weird aspect, but it does help balance things out. If you're fighting against somebody who's a heavy armor and a heavy weapon user, they're going to be a lot slower than you, so you can use that to your advantage if you like to dress lightly and take around, you know, lighter weapons, that kind of stuff. Anyways, enough explaining this stuff. I'm gonna put my stuff away. I'll just off-screen that because you guys don't need to see that. Next time, we'll level up with the Maiden in Black, and we will begin our next level, whichever one we choose to do next. I may do World 1-2 or World 2-1. We'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.